gamers, back with what could potentially be, or not potentially, because by the time I get to the end of this video it will have been a double video. I was going to say potentially a double video, meaning that there's two things that I would like to talk about, or I've taken the opportunity to show a game and to also talk about something that has been on my mind because of some videos that I've watched. So the topic to start off with before we get into looking at Persona Q is 3DS games dying. And more recently I watched a video suggesting that the same thing could be happening or could potentially happen with Switch games in the future. The first time I came across a video, it was all about 3DS games dying. I watched a video a few months ago on a small channel. Somebody was talking about 3DS games dying, and they were offering up a solution to potentially fix games that had died. It doesn't always work, however, this person was talking about a solution. Since then, I've come across more videos, watched more videos about this same topic, where I would like to say that it's more about sensationalizing and it's more about fear-mongering. And I just don't, it just doesn't sit right with me. It really doesn't. At first, I was getting a little bit panicky because people have been saying that games that are on cartridges, the modern version of games on cartridges, have flash memory. And flash memory is not as reliable as, say, memory that is stored because of a battery being inside of the cartridge. Of course, batteries can die out, you can lose your saves, but you can replace the battery. Whereas with flash memory, once it goes, if it goes, then it is either really difficult or near impossible to be able to rectify that issue. With the exception of the video that I watched that was suggesting that there is potentially a way. And if I can find that video again, what I'll do is I'll link it down in the description so you can have a look at that yourself. If I can't find it, just do a little research and pay attention to this topic yourself. Don't take all my word for gospel. Don't take other people's word for gospel either. So the fear-mongering, if you like, about this is that if you have sealed games and you decide to open them up, then there's a potential that because they're so old now and they've never been put into a console, a handheld console, that they potentially won't work. And the idea is that in order to stop flash memory from becoming corrupted, not working anymore, what you have to do is you have to plug your cartridges into your little handheld systems every now and again so that the system can communicate with the cart, and then there's a little bit of magic that goes on there between the two. I don't know enough about this yet to go into all of the details. Again, do your own research, but there's a little bit of communication between the two which allows your cartridge to continue to work the way that it should work. When I first started watching these videos, I have to say that I did, first of all, think, oh no, I've got all these games on a shelf. I have a lot of DS and 3DS games and Switch games and Vita games. And I was thinking there's the potential that these are going to die. And obviously I don't want that to happen because A, I want to play them, and B, I might want to resell them. So what I decided to do was to test out the 3DS games straight away, because that was the videos that I was watching, that was the topic, that was the content of the videos I was watching. So I started to test out the 3DS games. Some of the games that have been named so far as being games that are susceptible to this type of corruption, cartridge, flash memory dying, have been the Pokemon games and also Persona Q, which I have here, a sealed copy as you can see. And I do have two Pokemon games for the 3DS as well. So I decided to plug all of the games into my 3DS to see if there was any issues. What I found was that of the two Pokemon games that I tried, Pokemon Sun and Moon, Sun didn't register straight away with my 3DS handheld. It took a few attempts for that to show up on the home screen. And then I was able to do a download to update that game, and there doesn't seem to be any issue since. All of the other games that I tried didn't have any issues. All of the games I have in my collection behind me that are all on cartridges, that are new ones with flash memory, I've never ever had a single issue with any of the cartridges. But I was still a little bit panicked, especially with the Pokemon one. I was looking at my sealed copy of Persona Q, which everybody seems to think, from what I've heard so far, that this is the one that dies. Some of the things that have been mentioned about why this might be is that video game companies were just trying to save money and were using good materials in order to make these cartridges. And Persona Q in particular is one that is highlighted as being something that is quite problematic, which is problematic for a collector, especially if you value the games that you have in your collection. So I'm looking at this sealed copy and I'm thinking, should I open it up and try it out to make sure that it's working? And I was just about to do it. I do have some sealed DS games as well. All of the sealed ones that I have are Atlas games. And as you know, if you're watching these videos that I do have a love for Atlas games. So I'm looking and I'm thinking, right, I'm going to have to crack it open and I'm going to have to find out if this game actually works. And if it doesn't, then there's going to be disappointment that this game is now worthless. And then, before I was about to do it, thankfully, I stopped and I thought to myself, okay, I'm quite a cynical guy at times. And all that means really is that I just question things, right? Some people think that I have a bit of a cynical attitude at times, but all it means is that I question things. I don't just do things based on something that somebody has said. I don't just form opinions based on the opinions of other people, right? I will sit down and meditate and reflect on things, and then I will take action. And that's exactly what I did. Thankfully, I'm able to do that. Because then I thought in my cynical mind, right, in this thinking mind, what if this is just a cunning ploy by people who don't like the fact that video game prices have gone up to try and make the prices come back down? I mean, consider that for a minute, right? Just consider that for a minute. It's a possibility. It is a possibility, especially because of the way that information is shared and the way that information is taken in by people today. You can highlight something and in a matter of minutes, you can have thousands of people believing and joining in with the same dialogue. It's possible, right? And because of that, it is possible to make changes. It is possible to make changes in society just by doing that. I mean, it's always been the case, but even more so today because of the way that information is shared. So I thought, what if this is just somebody or a group of people decided, like when they were trying to inflate the prices, remember that? Remember when people got involved, investors got involved and started inflating the prices? Well, what if it's just people trying to bring the prices back down by panicking people, making people get frightened that the games are going to die in the collection, unsealing them all, and then bringing the value of those games down so that other people can capitalize. What if that's a possibility, right? That's where my mind went to. So I thought, you know what? Fuck this, right? And fuck you too. I'm not opening up my sealed games. And this is my message for anybody else who might have come across these videos before. Before you are about to unseal your games, stop and think about it and think about the potential consequences. And think about this as well, right? Regardless of whether this is sealed, working, sealed, not working, somebody values this game, right? Somebody values it just as it is. There is a whole collector's market for sealed games. people keep the games sealed, and then they seal them again to get them graded. And the chances are that those graded games are never ever going to get opened and played ever again. So there's a market for it. There's a market for video games as art. And I believe in the future that that market is only going to continue to grow, and things like this will probably end up in private collections, or they'll end up in museums. So don't break the seal on them if you don't want to. If you want to play the game, that's different. If I want to play this game, guess what? I've got a digital copy on my 3DS. If I didn't have a digital copy on my 3DS and I wanted to play it, I would crack the seal and I would play the game. I'm not that type of person who thinks that they've got to stay sealed forever and ever and ever if I want to play them. However, if I don't, then I will keep them sealed. And I suggest that you do the same thing too. I suggest that you don't believe anything that I say and you just do what you want to do. Yeah, the world's a better place when people make decisions for themselves. Okay, that's enough of a rant. So, Persona Q, Shadow of the Labyrinth. This is the first one in the Q series. There is another one on the 3DS, and the second one, surprisingly, the price of that one has shot up even for used copies. Very, very surprising to me. I'll pull that one out another time. So I'm just going to take a look at the back, like I always do, to finish off this video. And I'm getting a little bit overexcited. Swallowing a bit of wind and it's coming back up. You didn't need to know that, but here we go. The heroes of Persona 3 and 4 unite. With the eerie tolling of the Yasugami High School bells, 18 Persona users find themselves trapped inside the labyrinth of a strange other world. There they meet Zen and Rei, and an odd duo who have lost their memories. As the parties come together to seek an escape, a mysterious shadow creeps ever nearer. Two paths: choose whether you'll get the Persona 3 or Persona 4 perspective on the adventure. Draw your own map. The power is in your hands to create a map to help you navigate the dangers and discoveries inside each labyrinth. Unleash your Persona-equipped main and sub-Personas to tap into your true inner potential in battle. Fuse Personas to gain access to new ones. There we have it. Persona Q, Shadow of the Labyrinth. It is a dungeon crawler game. It is fused with the Etrian Odyssey series of games where you have to go through the dungeon and build your own maps using the stylus as you go through them. It is the type of game that I do like to play. I have only played the Etrian Odyssey games so far. I've only played one. I'm still playing one in that series, and I will get around to playing the Persona ones as well, especially this one, because P3 and P4 are the two games in the series that I've played the most of so far, so I'm quite familiar with those characters. Okay, so that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Stick a comment down below if you have anything to add to this topic. I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe out there.